Hi there, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the DutchRC channel, and I've got me another box, yes, and it hardly fits in screen. This is a new quadcopter from Eachine, and it is the Pioneer E350, and I have flown it already a few times, and this really is an interesting quadcopter. Not only is it a step up for Eachine, I think, a more serious, hobby-grade kind of quadcopter, but it also has potential, I think, both in fun flying. It's pretty fast, but you can do fun things like mission planning. I'll show you a picture right now what that could look like with your smartphone or your tablet or even your laptop. It can be equipped with a gimbal, maybe hard to see over here. I'll also show you a picture of the gimbal. When I ordered this quadcopter, the gimbal wasn't available yet, but I have ordered it, so I will show you what footage with this quadcopter looks like in the near future. Alright, enough about the box, let's see what is in it. Alright, the first thing I'll show you is the transmitter here. Now, I have to say that the transmitter is a little bit of a letdown. It's a bit plasticky. I'm pretty sure that's visible in the video. It does work, and it has aluminium sticks, which is nice. The throttle stick has ratcheting on it, but it's not obnoxious. It doesn't prohibit you from flying well. Now let's see, at the top over here it has a 3-position switch here and a dial over here, which is probably for use with the gimbal, which I at this moment don't have yet. Over here you've got another 3-position switch and another dial, which again might be for the gimbal, and yeah, 2 sticks obviously. Trim switches, digital trim switches, and a turning thing over here, which doesn't really do anything. Oh, and you've got a few buttons. With these buttons you can set the transmitter in mode 1 or mode 2. And let's see, yeah, the transmitter takes 4 AA's, and those you have to provide yourself. Now these 2 switches are for the flight modes. On the left you've got a stabilized mode, basic flying mode, an altitude hold mode and a headlock mode, headless mode. And on the right side over here you've got a stabilized mode. So with both switches switched away from you, you are in basic flying mode, and the quadcopter will then be pretty fast. Faster than you might expect, actually. Faster than I had expected. And on the second flight mode on the right you've got GPS hold. In that flight mode obviously it'll hold its position, and it'll also be a bit slower. So that mode is basically your camera mode. And the last one over here is your return to launch. So it'll return to the spot it took off at. So yeah, good amount of features, I think. And let's see, yeah, that's it for the transmitter. Okie dokie, the quadcopter comes with a flight pack, a 2200 3S lipo, and it is a 25C, which is enough for this quadcopter. It doesn't drain or take a lot of amps. It swings pretty large props at a low RPM, so it's very efficient. Now, as you can see, the lipo ends with a XT60 connector, so very convenient. You might actually already have a few packs like this laying around. So yeah, very flexible in your power setup. Now, the quadcopter also comes with a charger, which can actually charge lipos, LiFe's and NIM packs. And it is a balance port charger. So yeah, pretty simple charger, but it will get you going. Obviously you'd be better off by getting a hobby grade charger, especially if you want to get more into the hobby. But again, this will get you started. And it comes with a power lead. In my case it ends with an European connector. Thank you very much. Okay, the quadcopter comes with these two landing feet, landing legs kind of things. You can fly the quadcopter without these. I've done so far. As long as you don't have a gimbal or a other camera underneath it, you can fly it without these legs. You can remove them very quickly though. The quadcopter has two thumb screws at the bottom. Yeah, a matter of a minute and you'll have these legs on or off. And they are pretty flexible. So yeah, I don't see a problem with these legs. I don't think they will be breaking off very quickly. Okay, the quadcopter comes with an assortment of cables. One USB, micro USB to a normal USB cable, so you can connect the quadcopter to your computer. And this quadcopter has an APM flight controller, so with Mission Planner you can change all parameters. If it flies too fast for you or too slow, if the yaw rate isn't nice for your flying, you can change all that. The basic tune or the stock tune on this quadcopter is excellent, by the way. I had no troubles at all. I didn't need to do any PID tuning. So I expect you won't need that either. And it comes with two GST cables. The quadcopter has two 12-volt outputs at the bottom. And with these two GST cables you could, for instance, power your gimbal or an FPV system, or both, right? And it comes with another cable which I'm not sure about yet. Maybe I'll mention that in future videos when I do upgrades to this quadcopter. For now I'm not really sure. Maybe it's for the telemetry, I'm not sure. And here is the star of our show, the Eachine Pioneer E350. And yeah, when I saw it pop up at the Banggood site, I immediately liked its looks. It has a flat black, matte black finish to it. It feels rubbery, very nice. And I very much appreciate them not taking the easy route of just making everything look similar left to right. It has a nice asymmetrical paint scheme. Very nice and original. Now at the front you see these two eyes. Very, very nice. And they light up as well. It is a pretty good night flyer. Especially because of these eyes, because you can see what is the front of the quadcopter. In daytime, this fin at the back actually helps you out in orientation quite a bit. I didn't expect that. It's not a very large fin, as you can probably see, but it aids you in orientation quite a bit. Yeah, it has propellers, obviously. They are self-tightening. And I think they are 9-inch propellers. If that's not correct, I'll put an annotation in screen right now, but I think they are 9-inch propellers. So yeah, like I said, pretty big propellers. And so the motors will obviously be low RPM. The motors do not have any prints on it. I don't really care if it flies well, right? Okay, and let's have a look at the bottom of this craft. Each leg has a light pod, and depending on your flight mode they show a different color. In normal flying mode the fronts are blue and the rear ones are red, if I'm not mistaken. But once again, it depends on your flight mode what color they show you. And but in any way, these lights do help it make a good night flyer. And at the front over here, you see 4 metal indents or screw holes, and that is for your gimbal, of course. And once again, by now the gimbal is available, so I'll have a link to the gimbal as well. And over here you see the thumb screws to screw on your landing gear. No tools needed, very nice. And over here you see 5 connectors. Okay, the first one is the USB cable, which you can use to hook it up to your computer for setup work. Then there are the 2 12-volt outputs, the back ones over here, so that you can use for the gimbal and or a FPV system or anything else you want to power on 12 volts. And then there are 2 smaller connectors. One is for the telemetry. You can control this aircraft from your smartphone, for instance, or your laptop with a telemetry module. And I'll show you 2 options for that in a minute. And then the other smaller port is for your gimbal signal port. So yeah, probably you use that smaller port to control the axis of your gimbal with the 2 turn dials on the transmitter. So yeah, that all looks very nice. I am not really missing any kind of connection options here, so yeah, very nice. Okay, and this is a bit hard to show you, but at the back of the quadcopter you have a door which provides access to the lipo bay with the XC60 connector, and the lipo bay is pretty spacious. I'm pretty sure you could fit a 2400 3S lipo in it as well. Okay, so the Eachine E350. Now in this video I've used the word telemetry a few times. That is a bit of an understatement though. This quadcopter can not only send data to the ground concerning its flight time or elevation, speed, the flight battery status. It can also accept statements from your laptop, for instance, or your smartphone. There will also be a version available with a smartwatch. Well, smartwatch, a control watch. And you should be able to control the entire aircraft with that watch. That watch isn't available yet though. But I don't think you should be very wary about that or concerned. You can also control this aircraft from your smartphone. Yes, let me show you 2 options for that actually. Okay, the 2 telemetry options I promised to show you. If you visit the Banggood site, the product page for this quadcopter, you will see that there are 2 versions. One basic version and one with a telemetry set, this telemetry set, which is a 915 megahertz transponder system, more or less. So this has a module that goes onto your quadcopter, and it has a little plug that plugs into the telemetry port of the quadcopter, and you can simply stick this module down with some Velcro or double-sided sticky tape. And this one, as you can see, has a USB port, so you can slot that into your laptop and then use your laptop to control the aircraft. Very nice. If you want to use your smartphone, you'd need a USB OTG on-the-go cable for that. And this one over here is a Bluetooth module. And there isn't a version of the E350 quadcopter that comes with this module, but I'll also have a link to this module as well. It's a pretty inexpensive general use Bluetooth module. You can use these with any APM flight controller. This module you will stick onto the quadcopter. It has the same plug, and the downside of this is that the range won't be very big, very large. But you can use it to do setup work in the field, or plan missions, or do follow me. If you have the quadcopter follow you, you won't have the quadcopter fly very far away, so this Bluetooth should work. And yeah, that's your 2 telemetry options. Now once again, telemetry is a bit of an understatement for this quadcopter. You can do all kinds of things, more or less completely the same as with any other APM flight controller quadcopter. So that is pretty elaborate, I think, and very flexible. There are all kinds of programs for smartphones and laptops for that, so that's very nice. So with that all said and done, I actually shot a video of my first test flight with this quadcopter, so let me show you that video right now. Okay, first test flight with the Eachine Pioneer. It is very windy, by the way. Okay, so it does fly. I have to get used to the transmitter quite a bit. It is very, very windy. No, it does not have trouble fighting the wind. It's a brushless quadcopter, it has enough power. I'm flying it without any aids. No altitude hold is switched on or GPS lock. Man, it's windy. Well, let's try the GPS loiter if I can find a switch. Okay. Hands off. It does pretty good. By now the throttle stick, yeah, you do have control over the altitude. Let's also switch the altitude hold mode on. What does that do? Not much, so it seems. I am still in GPS lock mode. Yeah, now it's a lot slower, which is acceptable. Basically this is camera mode. In this wind though it flops around quite a bit. Okay, I've let go of the sticks now. Yeah, with all this wind. Okay, GPS lock off. Oh, it flies at a reasonable angle. This is not a slowish quadcopter like this. That's nice. Your rate is quite nice, surprisingly. The quadcopter is very quiet as well. You probably can't even hear it. Yeah. Okay, I'll have to try it on a less windy day as well, of course. This is not really ideal for the poor quadcopter. Orientation is very easy. Especially that fin at the back helps out a lot. Oh, that's pretty good. Better than I had expected actually. And it looks good doing so as well. Very nice. Yeah, for what it is, a camera quadcopter, it's pretty fast. Regrettably there is no acro mode with this quadcopter. But you can at least switch off the GPS lock and the altitude hold. Pretty nice. Okay, first test flight successful. Okay, so much for my detailed first look at this quadcopter and a first test flight. Do remember that that was actually my first flight ever with the quadcopter, so I do have to get used to it a little, and especially to the transmitter. But I'll do more videos on this quadcopter, and one of the videos will be on the gimbal and its performance, and I'll do probably several videos on the telemetry usage of it, how to install things. And yeah, I'll shoot separate videos about that, otherwise this one video will become too long. For now, thank you very much for watching. If you have questions about this quadcopter, don't hesitate to ask. I'll be happy to answer those. And yeah, if you're not subscribed yet, please do, so you won't miss out on my future videos on this quadcopter. And hope to see you back on another video. Bye bye.